Good morning, everyone. Let's start our Wednesday class with the prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhur Tat Savitra Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Asto Ma Satgamya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya Mrityorma Amritam Gamya Om Sahnavavatu Sahnabhanaktu Saviryam Karvavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahi Om Shanti 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 Om. Our rishis, they gave us a list of inner wealth. See, there's a outer wealth and there's a inner wealth. Outer wealth decreases on spending. Inner wealth increases with use. This inner wealth is called Sampati. And what is this inner wealth? There are 6 parts to it, and all these 6 parts are interrelated actually. Sham, Dhamma, Uprati, Titiksha, Shraddhadan, Shraddha and Samadhan. So these are 6 inner wealth qualities. If we are a serious student, we need to cultivate this inner wealth. So remember, they are interrelated. And as a seeker, we need to equip ourselves with all of them for our spiritual progress. In fact, when we start working on them, we see the light inside us. Light is not just only when we are fully self-realized or self-aware. Even these qualities, it's almost like a light of dawn precedes the rising of the sun. We know that time darkness is dispelling, and there is a very beautiful world outside we can see. The same way, these 6-fold inner wealth beautifies our personality, our behavior, even before the rising of the knowledge of the truth. So today I'm going to talk about these 6. The first one, Sham. What is Sham? Mano Nigraha. These 2 simple words define Sham. Mano Nigraha. In English, it's translated as the control or mastery over the mind. Mano Nigraha. We all know that our mind holds a continuous flow of thoughts. The thoughts are innumerable in number. And those thoughts are pertaining to various objects. And they flash in and flash out of the mind at the light of his speed. Each thought by itself appears flimsy, but the total force of the mind is terrific. It propels us to do various actions. That's why thought is called the father of the action. This mind becomes agitated, mind becomes distracted, sometimes it becomes stubborn and even unyielding. We may disobey others, but we are enslaved by our own minds. The moods of our mind toss us from elation to depression, from the sublime to the ridiculous. And a person who possesses this kind of a mind cannot undertake any inquiry in the nature of oneself. Because as a seeker, we need to go deep within to know ourselves. So this kind of a mind cannot let us. If we are sitting in a room, our mind can go outside if somebody calls us from outside. But our mind also gets distracted from the inner thoughts too. Sometimes we are sitting very quietly, but we get bored and we want to go outside. So the same way our mind, due to the senses, run after the objects, and those senses prompt the mind to run along with them. These senses are very powerful. Our eyes, our ears, our smelling sense, touch, taste. So inner desires, memories, expectations, they prompt the mind into the world of objects. When a person refuses to react, participate, or entertain these distracting thoughts, they lose their hold over us. That's how we learn to be in full control of our mind. But this definitely requires alertness and continuous vigilance. We can also control the mind by withdrawing them from objects. Telling our mind, these objects ultimately they'll give us sorrow. In our scriptures, it's called doshaha drishtihe muhurmuhu. Dosha. There's a flaw in it. We have to break this habit of the mind of remaining preoccupied with thoughts and brooding over the objects. This is a sadhana. Average mind may not take too kindly to this kind of a discipline. But when we practice intelligently, not force, but intelligence, the whole sadhana becomes easy. And this intelligence heightens with the swadhyaya, study of the scriptures, being in the good company, satsang, being in the company of the guru. So a person who has control over his mind has controlled the world actually. So that's called the Shama. Now the next wealth is, or category of the wealth is Dhamma. And how does the scriptures define this in Sanskrit? Chatur adi bahe indriye nigraha. Okay. So what is this Dham? It is the control of the external sense organs such as eyes, etc. Okay, there are eyes, there are ears, there's a nose. all of them. Okay? So to one with control over the mind, control over the senses is natural. But when a person loses control over the mind, remains control over the senses, he practices Dhamma. For example, a person may get angry, but refrain from using harsh words. That is Dhamma. Not Sham, but Dham. The senses are extrovert by nature. They are like wild horses. That's why they run after their respective sense objects simultaneously or sometimes sequentially, but continuously, never allowing the mind to remain at peace. We all know that our tongue wants to taste tasty food. For some people, it could be sweet food. Other times, it could be spicy food. Or this tongue wants to keep on talking. The eyes want to watch outside. It could be the screen, the phone, or just outer world. Hands are also restless. So this is what happens to our senses. The senses do not discriminate between the good and the pleasant. We often talk about good and the pleasant, big difference between those two. But the senses entertain the mind with the unwanted and the unhealthy also. So the process of training the senses, just as people tame their horses, is called Dhamma. That is a life of discipline, cultivating the healthy habits so that you can control the senses. The various fasts, it could be a fast from the food, fast from the screens, fast from speaking. Those are all part of the disciplines which fall under the category of Dhamma. Because as a seeker, we must train the senses to follow good habits or exercise control even when provoked or tempted. It's not just only when everything is conducive, not just only on our meditation seat, not only inside the temple or the ashram, outside also. For example, a person who is trying to follow all these principles will not use bad words, even when provoked. Or he may not even know these words. But not even thinking about it, that is a sham. Not speaking it, that is a dham. So if the senses are controlled by force or fear, the mind revolts or keeps brooding over pleasures. Many people keep thinking about food, certain kind of a food, especially when they're observing fasting. And maybe that's why there is a feast after the fast. But a person who has really risen to the high level will have a control over the mind with the help of the senses. So the control of the senses, dham, should aid the control of the mind, sham, and vice versa. Okay, so it's like both of them, they help each other. Now the next one is uprati. Another term for uprati is upram also. Rati and ram, that is the same meaning behind it. Ram means ramana, roaming. Rati means enjoying. And what is that? Swadharam anushtanam eva. That is the definition of uprati. It is the strict observance of one's own dharam. Swadharam, own dharam. Okay? So it is a state of the mind and senses that has withdrawn from reveling in the world of objects. So that means the sham and the dam become natural. Then upram is automatically achieved. So in sham and dam, the mind and the senses may be among the objects, and they are restrained by alertness. But in upram or uprati, they are automatically withdrawn from objects. So you don't have to make any effort, automatically. Example given in the Bhagavad Gita is of a tortoise. Tortoise withdraws its head and limbs effortlessly into its shell. Effortlessly. This is what happens to the person who is fully on this path. So it is the strict observance of your own duties. That is a dharam. Duties. Duties come to all of us according to our age, position, and place in life. And last week we talked about the duties in different stages in life. Many of us revolt against their performance or do so out of force or habit, often bored or burdened by them. It's almost like a student dislikes studies, but goes to school. But when a person understands that it's my duty, it's my dharam, the same person will perform. For example, the student will go to school with enthusiasm and dedication. Not only does the performance half-heartedly. That's how this mind becomes steady, single-pointed, free of likes and dislikes, peaceful and withdrawn. We all want that kind of a mind. The highest form of uprati is when a person remains in his or her ultimate and true nature. Uprati. Okay? Which is existence, consciousness, bliss, Sat Chit Anand. Outer withdrawal and performance of our duties are necessary to reach that state. So that's why we got to do what we need to do at any given stage in life to really feel fully established in our true nature. The next part of this category of six wealth, titiksha. So what is titiksha? शीत उष्ण सुख दुख आदि सहिष्णुत्वम. It is the endurance of heat and cold, pain and pleasure, etc. That's the diksha. We are all familiar with how this world gives us continuous stream of experiences at the physical level. So when it said heat and cold, that means at the physical level. Joy and sorrow at the emotional level. Praise and insult at an intellectual level. So that may be conducive or non-conducive. More often it's non-conducive. And when confronted with the non-conducive situations, what do we do normally? We complain. We blame others. Sometimes we don't even mind cursing the Lord or the government, society, family, or our own destiny. Many get dejected and depressed and upset. Some revolt. They get angry or fight back. People often say that why God does this to me? I wish I was born rich, then I would not have to undergo this trouble. Why does it happen to me? Or even people say that nothing will ever work out right for me. Why the stars are not right? Or blaming the person next to them. All my problems are because of such and such person. Or they say that I am just a born loser. People often say these words. However one may react, one has to go through the situation. There's no choice in that. The only choice lies in the attitude with which we go through it. And that attitude is called titiksha. To be able to bear non-conducive situations without reacting, without complaining or blaming, but with a cheerful acceptance. That is the diksha. It's almost like when somebody is traveling in a vehicle. If the shock absorbers are good, the ride will be smooth, even if the road is bad. So titiksha is the shock absorber with which we ride the tough train of our life without breaking our enthusiasm. When we remain preoccupied by our own little sorrows, they definitely appear big. But when we see others' sorrows, we get the strength to bear our own. I'm sure you have heard about this saying. A person said, I cried that I did not have shoes till I saw a child who did not have legs. Also, what comes must by its own very nature. When we try to run away from or push out the unconducive or run after and hold on to the conducive, what are we doing? We are intensifying our own stress and our own pain. So the habit of complaining and brooding over a non-conducive situation makes it very difficult to bear. So our thoughts about the discomforting situations of life are punctuated with commas, not full stop. We say it is hard. Sure, it's hard, full stop. But often we say it is hotter than yesterday. How can we work in this heat? We make ourselves miserable. But if a person says it's hard, full stop, then you are putting an end to the thought and you're accepting the situation. So titiksha is accepting the situation the way it is. Otherwise, mind keeps on staying preoccupied with its sorrows. and cannot think about the subtle matters. And we want to use our mind to go towards the subtlety of this life. So you can see that how important this diksha quality is, especially for a spiritual seeker. The diksha. You can call it endurance, acceptance. The next one is Shraddha. What is Shraddha? How did our scriptures, our gurus, they defined it? Because in English we just say it faith. The definition of Shraddha is Guru Vedanta Vakya Adishu Vishwasaha Shraddha. So faith in the words of the Guru and scriptures is Shraddha. Did not say the books. Books anybody can write. Guru Vedant Vakya Adeshu. So primary scriptures. So faith is a very important factor in our lives. None can live without faith. We sleep every night with the faith that we shall wake up in the morning. We have that faith. We have a faith in our doctor that the medicine he prescribes will cure us. We have faith in the pilot when we step in that plane. To fly that plane and take us to our destination. Or even in our hairstylist, we have faith. That he or she will not hurt us with the scissors. Faith. And we always have a faith in our spouse. That's why it said, na sukham sanshya atmana. A doubting Tom is never happy. If we keep on doubting, somebody gives me something to drink and I think there is something in there which could be poisonous, will not drink it. Doubt. So belief, sometimes it could be blind. If it's not backed by intellectual inquiry or confirmed by the self-experience. That's why they say the beliefs can change. Or the blind belief can lead us into trouble. Or it can make us fanatic. We even become superstitious, blind. So that's why this Shraddha word is defined as faith in the words, etc. of the Guru and the scriptures. It's not a blind faith. It is an intellectual conviction in the nobility and the ability of the Guru. Remember those two words. That's exactly what Lord Krishna told us in Bhagavad Gita. Nobility and ability of the Guru and the validity of the scriptures that he teaches. If a Guru says, no, I have never read any scriptures, this is mine only, that is not right. But we have to have faith in the Guru because we know Guru is a great soul. Guru says from experience. We have not experienced it yet, but Guru is talking from experience. Because the truth is beyond mind and senses. And the scriptures indicate that truth. And Guru has experienced it. And Guru tells us what to do so that we can experience it too. So that's why it's a valid means of knowledge. Guru will interpret the scriptures rightly. Guru knows the best means for my self-unfoldment. And Guru has a welfare, my welfare in his mind, welfare in his heart, and will never harm me. That kind of a faith. The Guru loves me selflessly. Because Guru is realized. And if I follow Guru's teachings, I too shall reach that state. That is called Shraddha. Like I have never seen God. I do not even know if it actually exists. I don't know whether it's a formless or with form. But there is God and the Guru will guide me to him. Such thinking is called faith, Shraddha. It's not that to show me only then I'll have faith. It's just believing that Guru said it and Guru is telling me. It's almost like entering into a university. You want a diploma at the end. You don't say, show me the diploma, give me the diploma, then I'll study. You study, pass exams, then you have a diploma. The same thing goes over here. Faith is always in something which is unknown. The known requires no faith. I always tell you that I don't need to have a faith that I have a nose. I know it. There is a famous saying by Tagore. Faith is the bird that sings in the joy when the dawn is still dark. Even though he has not seen the sun, he believes that it will soon rise. That is faith. Only when this kind of a conviction seeker has, seeker can walk on the path with determination and directly experience what he had faith in. Shraddhavan labhte jnanam. You have all heard that before. Shraddhavan from Bhagavad Gita. Shraddhavan labhte jnanam. The words of Shri Krishna. Faith enables us to listen to the scriptures with an open and alert mind. It does not stop inquiry. In fact, it encourages the seeker to reflect upon and realize the truth. So that's why it's not blind. It only strengthens through inquiry and culminates in knowledge. Without faith, the seeker will not be able to determine the goal or means to it, and will doubt both. Also the efforts too. One without faith destroys himself. This is also from Bhagavad Gita. Sanshya atma vinashyati. So on one hand, Shraddhavan labhte jnanam, but opposite of Shraddha is Sanshya, the doubt. Sanshya atma vinashyati. It is most important to have faith in the Guru. He can instill faith in the scriptures, because otherwise scriptures are like a water from the ocean, no matter how thirsty we are, that water from the ocean cannot quench our thirst. So Guru is the one who distills that water for us, that knowledge. So he can instill faith in the scriptures, the goal, the means, and even in our own ability to reach it. So Shraddha. The last one is called Samadhan. And what is Samadhan? Chit Ekagrata. It is the single pointedness of the mind. Chit Ekagrata. We all know normally the mind wanders and our efforts are distracted, especially when we have not determined our goal or have more than one goal in sight. Mind keeps on wandering. With a single goal, the mind and our efforts become concentrated and we progress faster. For this reason, even in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said that word ananya. Okay? Have only one Ishta Devata. There are many forms of God, many names of God. Choose one. Most of us cannot choose. That's why Guru gives us the name. Guru gives us the mantra. Guru gives us the form. Then we have faith in it. Then we start progressing faster. Otherwise, one day this and one day the other. We will not reach, we will not have this quality, which is called samadhan. If we want to go somewhere, we do some inquiries. We decide, purchase the ticket, board the plane, and we can reach the destination. The same thing goes on this journey also. Controlling of the senses, controlling of the mind, having faith, doing our sadhana, and reaching the goal. We got to have a faith. So samadhan is the state of the mind which a person has with a single goal in sight. Single goal. To reach this goal, we definitely need to control our mind, sham. We got to control our senses, dam. Got to learn how to withdraw from worldly pursuits, uprati. We better have the endurance to go through the pinpricks of life, titiksha. And we should faithfully follow the path which is indicated by the Guru and the scriptures, Shraddha. So the resultant absorption of the mind in the self is samadhan. That's why this word samadhan, it sounds almost like samadhi. It's not samadhi yet. It's only samadhan, chit ekagrata. If there is no oneness, no concentration, if it's a distracted mind, there's no samadhan. If you think that Monday this God will give me something and Tuesday this God, Wednesday different God, there's no samadhan. But if you remember that no, God can have many forms, but I have chosen one. Many names, but I have chosen one. I can get everything from there. That is samadhan. So you can see that these 6 qualities, as I was telling you earlier, that if we cultivate these qualities, we will definitely progress on this path faster. It's not only at the destination we achieve that peace. We know that if our senses are in control, we will be peaceful. And with that peaceful mind, we can have better endurance. We'll have a faith also. And we can do our practice properly too. So remember these 6 qualities: Sham, Dam, Uprati, Titiksha, Shraddha, and Samadhan. Okay, so you know it now. I'm sure you have memorized it too. The next step is to practice it. And this practice is not just 1 day or 1 hour. Got to be alert all the time. The yoga abhyasi lives a life with a full alertness, total vigilance. Let's stop it here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnameva Visheshyate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you very much for joining.